Now it is time for the In My City part of this show. And listen, I have got such an amazing treat for you guys on today. Listen, I'm going to make this introduction. We're not even going to get into this, my introduction song, because I don't want to wait. I'm too freaking excited. But this is the part of the show where we recognize local people and other people for their works in the community that are doing positive things. We shout out local restaurants, musicians, entertainers, entrepreneurs. We do it all in the In My City shout out. So if you know somebody that deserves our What's Happening round of applause, DM us on our Facebook page at What's Happening with Tabitha Simmons, or give us a call on our station line at 803-400-8988. And now, without further ado, it's the moment you guys have been waiting for. I have a very special guest who has given us the honor of sitting down and interviewing him. He is a singer, songwriter, as well as an actor. Most of you would know him as an actor. Listen, you know him from such characters on TV such as Darius Bannock in the 1993 film Cool Runnings, Shep from the 1994 film Above the Rim, JT from the Five Heartbeats, and my favorite of them all, Mr. David Ruffin from the TV movie The Temptations. He's been on Waiting to Exhale, Women of Brewster Place, and listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, the list goes on. I can't even begin to tell you how much he has done and give you all of his accolades. So listen, everybody, please, I need you to welcome to the What's Happening show with Tabitha Simmons, Mr. Leon. Leon, are you there? Hello, how are you?
Hasn't been too bad for me because I live in New York City, and although you hear New York City is a hotbed, I haven't been in the city. From the moment this happened, it's like day 26 for me. I've been quarantined, like out up in the country.
Yeah?
So, yeah, so I'm just saying, there's nothing around me but deer.
Oh, goodness. You in the country.
Yeah. You gotta stay away from people.
Well, you're in the best spot then. So listen, now you've been in some very amazing movies and you've played some stellar roles. So tell me, when you were growing up, is this what you wanted to do?
And at a certain point, I thought there was something I wanted to do, but I never really had any access to it where I lived. So, other than production I did in grammar school, I just excelled in athletics.
Oh, athletics, basketball. Am I guessing right?
100%.
You know, I get that from Above the Rim. I do remember that. Now, you grew up in a household full of women. Tell me, how was that?
It was great, I guess, because I don't know any other way. So, with the exception of my father and my grandfather, but I was the only male really in my generation around a bunch of women.
Wow. Sheesh. Tell me, do you remember your first break into the entertainment world?
My first break into the entertainment world was probably doing a PBS musical. I forget the name of it. It was a PBS basketball musical, and kind of can't remember the name of it. And I actually got the part because the actor they had hired couldn't play, and so a friend knew me and asked me to come meet the producers, and just to make sure, they said, "Can you shoot around a little bit?" So I shot around, hit a couple of jump shots, and threw it off the backboard and caught it, dunked it backwards, and they just handed me a contract.
Right off the back, I know that's what's up. So, how did you decide? Because you're multi-talented. You're in theater. You've got music. You had sports. What made you decide? How did you decide which way to go? Is what I'm asking.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, it found me. I was on a basketball scholarship in Los Angeles at Loyola Marymount University, and a graduate film student chased me down campus and begged me to be in this movie. And I was like, "Well, why me? There's so many theater arts students who would love to be in the movie." And he was like, "I've been observing you, I've been watching you. You have something, and you're going to be in the movies one day, and I want to be the first one to do it." And I was like, "Wow, okay." And so I did his drama major and studied acting.
Okay, that's what's up. You played the heck out of your roles as both Little Richard and David Ruffin. Listen, how difficult or how easy was it to become those characters?
Well, I don't think easy even exists in this conversation. So nothing's easy, especially when you are portraying someone who actually walked and talked on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
You have a responsibility to them, their family, people that knew them, to do them right and to at least try to capture their essence. So for me, that's a daily thing. When I'm working and doing my role, that's in the back of my mind at all times. So I never consider it easy, and I consider it probably more difficult to have a blueprint of someone that actually is real.
Mm-hmm. So, studying, did you ever find yourself getting completely engulfed in the personalities that you were portraying? Like sometimes you hear a lot of actors get so engulfed in their role till they lose themselves.
Yeah, of course. That's method acting, and that's basically where I come from. When I'm allowed to do it. Mm-hmm. Circumstances now that don't allow you to do that most of the times, but I love to. When I was playing David Ruffin, I was David Ruffin the entire time. Mm. Even the mother of my child was calling me David. So that's the way I am. When I get it, or if I'm allowed to get into my role.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's great. For that little bit of time, you're somebody else, and it's great.
Yeah. Well, you did amazing. That is absolutely my favorite. I am a huge David Ruffin fan. I'm going to tell you right now, you David Ruffin to me. You played the heck out of that role, and that's who you are to me. And if I ever see you, that's exactly what I'm going to call you, Mr. David.
Well, actually, to be called by my character names is actually more flattering to me, because that's how I want to be remembered, from the characters I played, not so much about, me, the person.
Wow.
Well, at least not for my movies, the person.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. So we're gonna move. Listen, I want to talk about this band of yours. The song titled "Love Is a Beautiful Thing" from your band's second album. It was featured on BET and the Centric TV show Culture List. Tell me about the inspiration behind this song, as well as how did you come about wanting to start a band?
Wow. Okay, it's twofold. First. On the album's called "Love Is a Beautiful Thing." That's the title track, and I'm happy that people liked it. I'm happy that it twice broke into the top 20 and went to the top 10 in Billboard. And it's about love. It's about all types of love. The kind of love that you have, not just for someone that you are romantically involved in, but the kind of love you have for your brother, your sister, your best friend. Mm-hmm. The kind of love that you may hate that person. Mm-hmm. But you always loved them. And that's basically the album is about. It's about all types of love. Love that makes you happy, love that makes you sad, love that and it's our latest release. It's on the Spectrum Music label. And as far as our band is concerned, this is our second album. My band's been together for quite some time now, and we've toured around the country, and we play a mixture between reggae and soul music. And let's say, people love us. We move butts. When we play, people are moving, and that's what we love.
That's so.
So please, if you can, get our album, latest release, "Love Is a Beautiful Thing," on the Spectrum Music label. We put it anywhere.
Absolutely. I listened to it, and it is worldly. It is it's very inspiring, and we need it right now. There's never been a better time. We need it right now.
I'm into, when I associate music with feeling good. And there are all types of music, but for me, if I'm going to make music, I'm going to make music that's going to make you feel good and make you think, and that's about it. I like to take you somewhere, and that's about it. I'm not trying to bring you down. I'm not trying to show you how bad things are in the hood or anyplace else, because you can just turn on the news to see that.
I know that's right. Now listen, now I read somewhere, a lot of women consider you to be. I'm gonna get a little extra here, but a lot of women consider you to be a sex symbol. And listen, I'm one of those women. I'm gonna say right here, right now. But how does that make you feel? A lot of it, I've read that it was associated with the character David Ruffin for one. How does that make you feel knowing that?
Um, I'm surprised. I was surprised it took you this long. um, it's really odd that you say that that it's associated with David Ruffin because I don't really know that. It's hard for me to say because I've been getting that kind of attention way before David Ruffin.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially in a movie called Waiting to Exhale.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and so yeah, and even in movies like Cool Runnings, and well, when I play leading man type of roles, I would get a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate it. What can I say? I appreciate it. Most of my fans are probably women. I acknowledge that, and I appreciate that. Like you said earlier, I come from a family of women,
yes.
So I learned to love women, before I wanted to have sex with them.
So,
and so I think women can sense that about me. They can sense that I genuinely like them as people. It's not just about getting with them. So,
yeah.
And so, I appreciate it. And, I hope that, for years to come, I can keep them as my fans.
That's what's up. Well, listen, that might have been me saying the David Ruffin part. I don't know if all women say it, but listen, because you have such a swag. It's a walk that you have in your films that you can't get away from. That's your swag. I don't care who you play. That's your swag.
well, thanks. It's when you say things like that to me, it makes me think of old time Hollywood,
yes.
Which is something I'm a big fan of. Where actors and leading men in movies had a distinct style about them that you knew that was them, whether it be Cary Grant or Gregory Peck or Errol Flynn or
oh, yeah.
Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, all the greats.
So, yeah, that's cool. And I appreciate that.
That's what's up. Now you have a daughter with the amazing Miss Cynthia Bailey from Love and Hip Hop in Atlanta. So how would you describe?
No. Atlanta Housewives. No Love and Hip Hop.
Okay, yeah, you're right. The Atlanta Housewives. My bad. I'm sorry. How would you describe co-parenting?
It's the show with less fighting.
It is the probably the only one with less fighting. Sheesh. The Atlanta Housewives. You guys, I'm sorry about that. Atlanta Housewives, y'all have got to be the most respected show. I love it. It's probably the only one with no fighting. I dig it. So tell me, with co-parenting, how do you guys? How are you guys doing with that? How are you managing with that?
Great. My daughter's grown now. She's 20 years old.
Yes.
And she is, I'm happy to say, beautiful in so many ways. And I'm very proud of her. And so is her mom. And I'm proud of, her mom and the job she did raising her day to day. So, I can't ask for any more than that.
That's
and
pretty awesome.
I'm blessed.
That's pretty awesome. So as a father, how important was it for you to be able to guide and give advice to your daughter as she was approaching adulthood?
It's by having a very open relationship with her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to say that, we are great friends. We talk about all types of things. And I'm not someone that she leaves out of things in her life, and I appreciate that, and I don't judge her. I'm just, I try to be her father and her friend. Mm-hmm. And, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. It's a crapshoot to some degree. Mm. I mean, because you can do all the right things, or at least the things you think you should do, and it will lower your chances. I mean, it makes your chances better having your kid grow up and, be successful in life. But sometimes you can do all the right things and things go astray.
Yeah.
They meet the wrong person, take up the wrong habit.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control that.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Well, you guys are doing a phenomenal job so far that I can see. So let me ask you this. On the subject of black love, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Because you've been in some roles where, like we talked about earlier, where you have played either a lover or the player. And I just want your take on what you think black love is all about these days.
Well, there's no one way black love is.
Mm-hmm.
It's diverse. It's diverse as any other love. And I think that is what I personally would like to see more of on screen.
Mm-hmm.
We love each other in so many different ways.
You're right.
And that's what I want to see on screen. And so, yeah, I don't think I can say what I think of black love.
Yeah.
Other than address it and how I would see it on the screen, and I would love to see it in all types of ways.
Yeah, I agree. So let me ask you this in lieu of that question. Of course, there has been a dramatic change in what we see on TV as good parenting or black love. For example, like when I was growing up, I had Good Times, and you had James Evans in Florida, and then we had The Cosby Show, A Different World. We had so many positive African American role models as far as family life goes when it comes to seeing what true success and black love was all about in the household.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think that will ever come back into play as it did back in those days?
It will, but I think there are shows out there now that show us in a very diverse way.
Mm-hmm.
They show the black household. I think I haven't seen a lot of these shows, but This Is Us, I believe.
Yes.
Is a show that shows a very positive black household with utterly mobile black parents. Of course, you have the number one hit shows, Blackish,
yes.
which is even spawned off other shows
mm-hmm.
from it, and I'm sure there's others, so I think that's out there. Mm-hmm. The problem we have is what's promoted to our kids, and those may not be the things that are promoted to our kids, and so therefore they're watching other things.
Yeah.
And I think that comes down to family. You see, because I don't know when you grew up, but when I grew up, we watched TV as a family.
Mm-hmm. Same thing.
Right. And so I don't see, and that's what I think is missing is that family structure.
Yes.
We used to have so much.
Yes.
The kid knew he was coming home for dinner at a certain time, and the family watched the certain movies or TV shows every week, and they did it together. Mm-hmm. So therefore, shows like, whether it be Blackish or This Is Us or whatever, would be something that they would not just be able to watch, but even be able to discuss and talk about. Mm-hmm. And when you don't have that kind of family situation, therefore you're not going to have kids watching, the same kind of shows.
I agree. And you know what the sad thing I think is the bright side of what's been going on with this pandemic and us staying quarantined is I'm sure that this has brought families together because I'm pretty sure it's families, our moms and dads looking at their kids like they strangers because they ain't seen them on a consistent basis in so long.
Oh no, looking at them crazy and not happy about it, but but also putting a great deal of stress on them.
Yes. Because
more than likely, if they're a single family home or a two family home where both people work, okay, and say they're both doing jobs that are essential or critical right now, and so they're both working because they need the income, of course. Well, now their kids are home, and they may even have young kids where, now they got to get someone to stay with them.
Yes.
And sit with them. So that's extra income, and plus the food they got to feed them.
Absolutely.
So now that's putting a huge stress on them.
Yes.
And then also what you're asking people to do is really tough too, because someone like myself, for example, I can afford to buy 2-3 weeks worth of groceries.
Yes.
And just stockpile it for a while and not have to go out to the supermarket for a while. But, a great deal or most of America cannot do that.
You're right.
They buy their groceries when they get paid. They're moving from week to week, to check to check, month to month. And see, when you're living like that, which is most America, something like this is a huge burden on you.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
It's like, like the rug being just shot from under you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden your car you can depend on just what they told you it's going to cost you $10,000 to get it fixed. And you only paid $12,000.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
You're like, and you're hearing that now, and I got to stay in the house and I can't go to work.
Sheesh. It's also,
and my kids can't eat.
You're right, because they relied on the school. When they go to school in the morning, they get breakfast and they get lunch, and most of the time they only had to worry about fixing dinner. That was pretty much it.
Exactly. And if they had a kid on the sports team, he's not getting home at 6 o'clock.
You're right. You're absolutely
because he's practicing. And then sometimes games or meets or whatever they're doing, so it's a huge burden on most of society.
Yes.
And as long as it goes on, we're gonna really see it. It'll become very, very visible.
You're right. It's gonna be difficult for a lot of Americans out there. Let me ask you, what are you working on these days? What's up next for Leon? What you got going on?
It's really uncertain, to be honest with you, because we don't know when everything is happening.
Right.
I mean, I'm currently on a TV show right now on Showtime, and that got shut down because of coronavirus.
Yeah.
And I'm also I was on tour. I'm playing the male lead at Set It Off.
Yeah.
And I was in New Orleans on the 13th, and another sold-out show there, and show just got shut down. Governor shut down everything. Over 250 people. So tour got postponed. My band was booked on the Tom Joyner cruise.
Yeah.
Cruise canceled. I mean, everything just gone.
Yeah, you're right. So, I mean, those things are still on the line. Hopefully, once everything gets back up and running and we get moving and shaking.
Yeah, but it's not about if things get back. It's when.
When, yeah.
That's the uncertainty.
Yeah.
Because after a while, then you start, there's some projections are the same next year.
Yeah, I've seen
and
those.
So what I'm saying is that if it's going to go into January, then you don't know what's going to happen.
You're right.
Whatever was booked a year ago is going to change drastically.
Right. You're absolutely right.
At least most things.
Yeah.
So when you look at events like the Olympics, Wimbledon, it was never done in 108 years. Okay, you look at those things canceling, then you have to pay attention.
That's right. That's gonna force you to pay attention.
What's gonna be interesting in tennis? What's gonna be interesting? Because I'm a big tennis fan. I love to play as well. Is see what happens with the U.S. Open. U.S. Open is around Labor Day. Yeah, they haven't really started canceling things in September yet. If they cancel that, and which I think could be a good chance because most of the Grand Slams aren't being played, so they may do that.
They may. Well, listen, can you tell the fans out there who follow you how they can follow you and support you and as well as your band on the social media platforms?
Please, you can visit my band at our website, which is leonandthepeoples.net. That's people with an S. Peoples. leonandthepeoples.net. You can always visit me on Instagram, which is at www.justleon. That's www.justleon. And my band is at Leon the Peoples. All right? At Leon the Peoples. Come check us out. Come talk to me. Come write me. Check out my posts. All that good stuff.
That's what's up. All that good stuff. Y'all heard him. Y'all get over there and get to it. Y'all heard him. So listen, last question. If you could give anyone out there aspiring to be in the entertainment world any advice at all, what would you tell them?
Don't attempt to do it. for the right reasons.
Well.
And that reason is because it's a burning desire in you to do it and to be good at it. And that's why you got to do it. Because it's going to be a lot of no's being said to you. Most of the time, people saying no to you. And it's got to be worth it to you. You got to have that kind of fire in you.
Well, I love it. I love it. Y'all heard him. Don't do it unless it's a burning desire to get out there and make it happen. Mr. Leon, I want to thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to conversate with you on so many different levels. So I just want to tell you thank you. I appreciate you taking the time out with us to talk with us. And for our listeners, listen, I need you guys to definitely go to his page, go to his band's page, and check him out. You guys are going to love the music. And I just want to let you know, Mr. Leon, again, I thank you so much. And I want you to have an amazing weekend and be safe out there. Leave them deers alone.
Hey, I'm being safe as I possibly can.
That's what's up. Thank you so much.
All right, you take care.
Okay, you too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And with that being said, listen, you guys, if you have not had an opportunity, listen, I wanted to thank all you guys for listening. That was Mr. Leon, and he doesn't need an introduction. You guys know him from the Five Heartbeats and playing Little Richard and David Ruffin on The Temptations. So with that being said, I'm going to let you hear a little something from his band, Leon and the Peoples, with an S. Love is a beautiful thing. Indeed it is.
Complicate is the only way now. Communicate, no one seems to know how. Learn to hate is the easy way out. Some mistakes that we make, let them break. Try to take us all down. Somebody told me, somebody shared the word. Somebody told me, listen to me. Have you heard? Love is a beautiful thing. Love for your brother. Love is a beautiful thing. Love for your sister. I said love is the reason why I go wild. Love is the reason why I have a child. Say I elevate the way you think now. Educate so your children know how. Separate yourself from the crowd. Let them know how we flow when we know that love is around. Somebody told me, somebody shared the word. Somebody told me, listen to me. Have you heard? Love is a beautiful thing. Love for your brothers. Love is a beautiful thing. Love for your sister. I said love is the reason why I go wild. Love is the reason why I have a child. Sing out, love is a beautiful thing. Love is a beautiful a beautiful thing. Love is a beautiful